All right, we're going to try this one again. Welcome to the Morning Update Show. My name is Omari Salisbury. Looks like I'm flying solo today. You know what I'm saying? But it's a Friday. Thank God it's Friday. It's been an incredibly long week right here as we navigate through Seattle politics and something somewhere in between. And hold up, there she is. Yay, holiday. Thank God it's Friday.
Yes, TGIF, my friend. Yes, sorry, some technical difficulties over here this morning. Good morning, everybody. Happy Friday.
Good morning. But you know what, man? It's one technical gremlin ain't gonna stop no show. So you know what I'm saying? We're continuing on. We got a great show today. It's a bit of a short show, which is good because it's Friday, and man, we've been working it out over here for sure. We're gonna jump right into things. We're already a few minutes behind here. Big story that came out yesterday, and I know it's something that has a lot of interest around your way, Treyana, is that King County Council yesterday, they've made a decision here. This is actually released from Mayor Durkin. In a statement of Sound Transit, yesterday made a unanimous vote to transfer properties to City of Seattle. For in the city, what they're going to do is develop affordable housing in the Rainier Valley. So there's 10 properties that are being transferred from Sound Transit to the City of Seattle, and the City of Seattle is going to move forward and develop affordable housing with that property. There have been a big call for community for a while, going all the way back to 2019, 2018, probably even well before that, wanting these properties that Sound Transit was sitting on to turn the properties over to the people. And apparently that's what happened yesterday. Also, out of that, in a separate pot, and you might know more about where this other property is that there was a call, but King County Equity Now, I believe, and D. Krim and Council Member Zahalai and a few other for a Youth Achievement Center. And that Youth Achievement Center is actually in a separate pot than these 10 properties that Sound Transit is handing over to the city. That's correct from your side?
Yeah, I believe that you're right. In setting it up that way, and you're also right. Work for many years here, again, and inviting the public to understand this is stuff that's been happening for a long time. When we had those first demands come out, we saw that this summer. Those were low-hanging fruit. These properties have been part of the community discussion in terms of, hey, these are underutilized properties. We can do something greater with them if they're given to community ownership. And we see this now with this amazing thing that we're reporting on now. It's really a tremendous win for community. It's great.
Right. And it looks like really a win-win because, the King County Equity Now, this group right here, the Youth Achievement Center, they really wanted some property. And one of the big things we talk about in our community is property and ownership and everything else. And of course, affordable housing is a very big issue that's here in the city. So it looks like, a 2-for-1, so to speak, in the decision yesterday that there's going to be affordable housing coming out of this Sound Transit property move, as well as space there for this Youth Achievement Center going in the South End. Definitely going to follow up with Emily Alvarado of the Department of Housing next week and talk to her about the long-term plans for this. It'll be interesting. And it's a process. They got the property, and now people are going to come with their ideas of how they want to develop. We've been through all of that before, like how they're going to develop it. But also be interesting from the King County Equity Now, the DCREM, the Youth Achievement Center side, as to what the big vision there is. So I don't know, maybe you can connect the dots for me with somebody over there who I could get on next week to talk about this Youth Achievement Center, and as well as we'll talk to Emily Alvarado at the Department of Housing. Sound like a deal?
Yeah, absolutely. Let's make it happen next week for sure.
All right. So keeping it in the city and in the news, guess whose bag is getting bigger? Somebody's picking up some coins. I'm talking about somebody's bag is getting bigger. I'm talking about former Seattle Police Chief Carmen Best. Carmen Best is she's with NBC now. She's working with NBC and going to be on the Today Show, MSNBC, NBC News, and some of everything else. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I don't know. They tried to cut the salary here. She went and tripled the bag leaving the city, man.
Hey, well, you know what? We talked about this. Her expertise is super, super valuable to so much that's happening. And so I'm really thankful, once again, that her expertise is going to be utilized in a way that the public will be able to hear her. You know, she'll be able to go directly to the public. And so it's great. I'm happy that Chief Carmen Best is landing in this amazing way.
Yeah, she's keeping it moving. Like I said, me personally, I think that it's a long-term power play. We might see the chief running for office over here in the best way. But the other thing is too, is believe me, the chief Best influence has now like doubled, tripled, quadrupled. You know what I'm saying? With her going locally here with Channel 5 nationally correspondent. And so when she enters into the conversation over here, her voice is magnified so many times more than a city council member who might not even make the local news. So we'll see here if in a few months you see Chief Best running for public office, because she's setting herself up for an excellent platform to be able to do that, by the way.
There we go. Oh.
Yeah, no.
I love your analysis, man. We'll see how it plays out, right?
I'm just saying. So it was some big news yesterday, and all I can say is, man, I hope what I'm really hoping for, Trey Holiday, is that what we saw yesterday, talking about Sean Kemp and Black-owned dispensary and everything. I just hope that it ain't one of the things that we've seen before. This is from Ben Arthur's Twitter at the Seattle PI. Seattle Supersonics legend Sean Kemp is officially opening up a cannabis shop next week. It will become Seattle's first Black-owned dispensary. The Rain Man is going to be joined by the Glove, Gary Payton, on October 30th at 12:45 p.m. And so, one, you know, man, happy for the Rain Man, whatever he's doing. You know what I'm saying? Like, we all looked up to Sean Kemp and Gary, you know, coming up, playing for the Sonics and everything. But what we've seen in Seattle and what we've seen nationwide is that oftentimes who's really running the show is usually like some big white corporation, and they bring somebody Black in and might give them a piece. Now, that's cool and everything, but it's also, it might be, and we'll follow this up, it might be disingenuous to be first, you know, Black-owned cannabis shop if it's really owned by a big white corporation and he's a percentage holder, as opposed to a Black owner who toiled through this process with the state of Washington and the city of Seattle, and now they have ownership. Don't have any ideas. I'm just saying what we've seen before. But, you know, we'll follow up. Happy for the Rain Man, no matter what, man. Glad that he's in the mix, you know what I'm saying, and ownership in a piece of something everywhere else. But, you know, I mean, at the same time, our community don't need to get played. So, you know what I'm saying? It's good. We need to see the receipts.
Yeah, I love that you say this, because you're absolutely right. I mean, this is really, you're pointing to a larger issue here. When it talks about, you know, how the cannabis industry, honestly, nationally, has a huge disparity where it's mainly owned by white males, right? And so we see this in this industry, once again, a new industry taking shape in this country and doing it in the same old school way. And so I'm learning so much about cannabis equity, because there's so many people fighting for cannabis equity nationally, that it's really an issue, because right here in our state, what we deal with is hoarding of the licenses. So you're so right to point this out, because they buy them up so that Black folks can't even enter the industry.
mean, let's talk about it. Let's keep it real. I mean, the thing is, when the dispensaries first opened here, we didn't see no Black ownership, but what we saw was white dispensary owners paying Black celebrities and building an affinity around Blackness and everything else, and even as sometimes portraying Black people as being owners of, or what that one thing that they would do is be like, this is this celebrity strain that they're selling in there, and and everything else. And you can't blame somebody if somebody's a entertainer, celebrity, somebody wants endorsements. That's part of the business, that they do endorsements and everything else. But we've seen the cannabis industry here in the state of Washington latch on with a high affinity for Blackness, but not open the door to business, real business to blackness. And if you look at the amount of money that's coming in from these cannabis shops and the fact, the long history with marijuana and marijuana charges and black people here in the city of Seattle, King County, and the state of Washington, and the door being shut on ownership, this is why this is an important conversation. So I don't want anybody here to think that anybody's hating on the Rain Man or anything. Like, it's all love for Sean Kemp. And if he's got some ownership in here, is real. But you know what? It being framed first black owned, we need to see and make sure Sean Kemp got 51%. So we need to see the receipts. Then I'll be like, okay, 51% ownership or more, might be 100%. Then I'll be like, yeah, I feel this is black owned.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. Oh, show us those receipts.
Show us the receipts. So, you know what I'm saying? It'll be interesting to see here. Let me see if we got anything over in the comments on this. It says GP is not the front man. I agree. Gary's one of the realest out there. Rain Man in the glove. No, the first black owned. Full circle ownership is key to building black wealth and legacy. I hadn't thought of the front man angle. Well, for us, we've seen it here. Like I said, time and again. I mean, it's the dispensaries. This way they get together and throw these big concerts and bring all the black artists out here. You know what I'm saying? To tie themselves to this culture, to tie themselves to a type of culture. And when people really talk about equity and everything else, when you talk about this cannabis industry, my friend, we've been left out in the cold. So let's see what happens. Let's see who else is on the paperwork with the Rain Man. Let's see what their history is. Let's see how many black employees, even whoever else is on this paperwork is, and let's go from there and really put it out there.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So it says. Cannabis, TMZ says he has 2 partners with prior experience. Now, I've done some research on it, but I'm not in a position to discuss because I like to get it all together. But yes, he does have 2 previous partners, and they're very big in the industry. So they're very big. And let's see what else. A good point. Russell Wilson owns the juice place in U Village, but you don't see black employees. Seem like people got something to say on a Friday. Goodness.
Well, I think that you're mentioning a point that really makes sense across the board, because when we talk about ownership, a lot of the times, unfortunately, in the black community, it has been so surface level. And I think that you're pointing to a deeper issue, because honestly, when we follow the money, like we've been saying we need to do, we see that there's not enough black ownership, period. And so that's what it's about.
Exactly, but it's also disingenuous, and this is why we need to find out who owns this dispensary. And did Sean Kemp just come in as somebody who's a fractional owner, which is okay, or did Sean Kemp go through the same process that black people have been trying to go through and get ownership? Because for people to put out first black owner, us in the hood, we're thinking like, man, somebody put in their paperwork, they went through the process, went through the state, went through everything else, and now they're an owner, which is much different than you going in and joining an ownership group. That's true that you're an owner all the same, but black people in this state want to see this system work. And so for it to be put out, a headline very well might read, if this is the case, Sean Kemp joins ownership group and launches cannabis dispensary, as opposed to first black owner of cannabis dispensary. Now, both could be true in a sense, but man, let's keep it real out here. You know what I'm saying? We want to see the system work for black people. The system is very efficient. The state is getting money off of cannabis 100%, but let's see. We want to see this system work for black people. Go into the system and do everything, check all these boxes, and come out with a license. It's great to join an ownership group. There's nothing wrong with that. But man, let's keep this. Let's not be disingenuous. You know what I'm saying? When we're rolling it out here and they're promoting this, let's make sure that all the facts are in play. Your thoughts,
Yeah,
Fran?
yeah, no, I'll just also add here too that what you're also talking about is access, right? Someone like Sean Kemp, Gary Payton, these, there's a different type of access. So you're also talking about a class issue here. It goes against class issue because a lot of folks that are trying to come up, maybe they have great ideas for great strands, they have a great idea, great hand on growing. And so they're building that business acumen up to enter the industry. But again, their access is shortened, is declined, is lesser than somebody who, maybe has that name that then can join a group like this. So again, I think you're pointing to also a deeper issue here in terms of access. Because
people are like, get the Rain Man on it. We'd love to have the Rain Man on here. You know what I'm saying? I don't even know if Sean Kemp come on here. I don't even know if we'll get to the dispensary discussion. I got so many fantastic or wonderful things to talk to Sean Kemp about. But this is the thing is that, man, I want to see a license come out of the state of Washington and approved by the city of Seattle of a black person who has a majority ownership in a situation. Now, we don't know. I ain't seeing the receipts. We tried to look up the license and said the link was broken. Maybe one of these people in the comments over here might very well be able to find the link, find the license. Man, let's look at the license. It might say Sean Kemp 90%. Well, man, hell yeah, let's go celebrate. You know what I'm saying? But I want to see black people who are majority or 100% license holders go through this process with the state of Washington, get approved, and also get approved into the city of Seattle. And very much, I'm running behind that headline, black-owned dispensary, 100%. If that's not the case, though, I think it's a bit disingenuous to roll it out that way.
Yeah, great point, so.
All right, so another thing on the list, Nikki Barron, put it on the list. We got to follow it up. So we watched the debate last night. Me, Mike Davis, and Julia Jessie. We watched the debate, and I thought instead of giving airtime to either of these guys, I would give some airtime to an interesting conversation that we had last night. One of the topics that the moderator brought up was how black people have the talk. And now, if you're black, you know what the talk is. And that's the talk of really, man, how to navigate one, definitely with the police. It always usually starts with the police, but then also how to just navigate through the system. And, everybody's had to talk. My mama had to talk with me. I had this talk with my kids. But it was interesting because a comment came in and said, you guys are living in a bubble. Other ethnic groups also have the talk. And I had to tell them, it was like, well, we're talking about our life experiences. We're not saying other people don't. But Julia Jessie, she hopped in here, man, and she really broke something down about the talk. She was also joined by Mike Davis in this conversation. Julia, your thoughts on the talk?
So I also want to make another point of clarity. The talk that white folks give to their kids is not the same talk that we're talking about because it extends past law enforcement. The talk that we're talking about is don't show up and be too black. Don't wear a hoodie. Don't wear a do-rag while you're driving. Make sure when you show up that you speak properly. Make sure that your hair is not too loud. Make sure that your body language is not too loud. So the talk is not just about your interaction with police, but the talk is about how you show up into the room, how you show up and have these different conversations that are people that don't look like you, how you interact on a daily basis. That's what the talk is about. The talk does not just talk about when you get pulled over, which is a big thing. And the talk doesn't just extend to kids. I have the talk with my husband when he gets in the car. Take your hat off. Don't drive with your hat off. Don't drive with your hat on. Don't have rims because you don't want your car to look too black. That's what the talk is about. It's not just about getting pulled over by the police. And I'll be damned if somebody on here says to their white son, don't drive with your do-rag on, because that's what my mother had to tell my brother when he was 17 years old when he first got his license. So that talk is not the same.
Well, while we're on the talk real quick, you know what I'm saying? This is interesting. What non-police interaction talk have you had? I'll throw one out there. Is 23rd and Jackson and Red Apple. My mama used to always say, don't go into the store with your hands in your pocket. Don't pick up anything unless you're going to buy it. don't go down there with if you're after school with your backpack. See if you can leave it somewhere. Those don't, as Julia said, those don't have anything to do with policing, but those are some of the things. I mean, that was a big thing. Do not be in any store with your hands in your pocket. Don't pick up nothing if it ain't on that shopping list.
Yeah.
I mean, when I went to an HBCU, and my college professor would tell us, don't have your hair too loud. I mean, I used to be nervous about going into a job interview with braids. I used to be nervous about wearing my hair natural, out and curly. We have been culturally trained to dumb it down so that white folk feel a little bit more comfortable.
No, I just wanted to say that, it's valid, man, because it's universal. Like what I'm hearing you say about going into the store, that's me. What I hear Julia say about her brother not driving with the do-rag on, that's also me. So like, these are things that happen for all of us. And you can expand this panel to more Black folks, and I'm pretty comfortable that they would all have those similar experiences, because this is just the life that we have to live. Conforming, like the way that I talk at work is not the way that I'm going to talk at home. And I don't just mean that to say that like not using profanity. I mean the actual tone and the pattern, like the way it's different, man. The way I walk, I'm like a hell of a lot straighter in my posture. Like these are all things that you pick up on and you learn so that you can conform to these white spaces. I'm already a Black man with dreads and tattoos, but I always have to do those extra things to make sure that other folks feel comfortable. And this is just something that I have to live with every day.
All right.
I'm interested to hear, because I listen, even in this moment, I'm like, ooh, I was a little bit too Black right there. You know what I'm saying? And I shouldn't have to check myself. I shouldn't have to check my Blackness. I'm not going to do that. I know you're like, she hella light skin, whatever. We ain't going to go there. We ain't going to go there this time. But I don't want to have to check my opinion, my attitude, my position on things, because it makes someone feel uncomfortable that I'm showing up as who I am.
Trey Holiday.
Oh, Julia. Jessie, and okay, look, I'm over here buzzing when I just have you pull that clip out, because honestly, they're so right. As the mother of two sons, and this, you just said it, you have these talks, but it's not only that. I love how it got expanded to how we are so used to conformity. It really goes back to, I think, a slave mentality, right? We were stripped of our original tradition, our culture, our customs, our language, our, a bit of our ethnicity, just really stripped from us. When you think about this kind of Atlantic slave trade from so many that, still are here in the United States. But what she talks about is so true. And it has such deep roots that it's something that I think a lot of us don't even think about. Oh, it's just in our subconscious at this point. So I'm just happy that you guys touched on that, because it's so true and rings in I think every Black family, every Black household. And if you're kind of like detached from that, it's because you've already gained those customs. You're not even having to do that because maybe you live in a different type of, your class has allowed you to not have to deal with that. But honestly, I still think that that's a very small population that when we talk about nationally, and what you guys described is really the general discourse here.
Right. And what we find though is sometimes across, especially a lot of times the interaction with the police, it don't matter if your parents was rich or your parents worked at the corner store. You talk to people across a class category that are Black, they'll all tell you. I mean, I'm not speaking for everybody. A lot of people will tell you about that talk. I mean, I remember being down there in Atlanta. I used to work in the music industry down there. These guys, multi-millionaires, big time. But man, as soon as it went down with the police, all of a sudden they remember everything from the talk. And so, but big shout out to Julia, Jessie, and Mike Davis from the South Seattle Emerald. Man, people really love when they get on and get to talk. And one thing that came out of that discussion last night, the talk, is it looks like we're going to do a special. So we're going to do a special. We're going to bring in quite a few people and have people, and also we want to hear people's experience from different in different backgrounds as well. What kind of talk are you getting, in maybe the Hispanic community? We had some people in there in the in the Asian community and some comments last night, and was talking about not so much with police, but going into like, you know, other situations in society, how it's like, man, let me act a different way. So it's gonna be very good. We're gonna put it together. We're gonna produce that and get it going. So we're gonna take a short break right now. We're also gonna give you a break for a few minutes, Trey. When we come back, I've got my brothers in the building. I've got Kun, I've got Tune. It's our oldest brother, Hiram. Rest in peace. It's his birthday. And, you know, we're all three of us are going to catch up here and talk about him for a second. You are watching the Morning Update Show.
My parents coming over here as refugees meant that they didn't really have anything when they came to America. Having reliable healthcare and having a reliable doctor was really important. Gongdong kutoy, jam ite kutoy.
我的社区，我的诊所。Mi comunidad, mi clínica.
Bulshada iyo baqaraha.
My community, my clinic.
Coming up this week on Chats with Trey.
This week on Chats with Trey, we got Isaiah Anderson, a beloved community member and definitely somebody y'all have seen on stage, behind the scenes, and in front of the camera. I'm so excited to have him, Isaiah Anderson.
All right, welcome back. Whoa, wrong button here. There we go. Hey, what's up, Kun? Who? I think we got Tune on here too. Where's Tune? There he is. It's the broker. What's up, Tune?
What's happening with you guys?
All right. So this is the first time since the Morning Update Show has launched. We got a few first here. One, this is the first time that my brother Tunde has joined us here on the Morning Update Show. And this is the first time, of course, then all three of us are sharing the screen. And considering how big you are, Kun, I'm surprised that all of us can even fit here on the same screen together.
Yeah,
we might need some elbow room.
I'm always the comic relief, man.
Well, I mean, you know, you're an aspiring politician, so if you think you're comic relief now, man, you get elected, you're gonna be in all the jokes. All right, man. So, wanted to do something kind of special here, man. You know, it was going on. Well, it's 15 years ago now that our oldest brother Hiram passed away. Today's his birthday. You know what I'm saying? Hiram would be 53 today. Passed away when he was 37. And you know, every year we do a little something different. You know, and last year, of course, we didn't have the Morning Update Show, and this year, of course, we do. And it's always special for our parents. I think it's the best gift that we could give Hiram on his birthday, and for everybody that loved Hiram, for us to all be together. And COVID and stuff is crazy, but we're all here together today in celebrating the memory of our oldest brother, Hiram Salisbury.
H-Town.
Yes, indeed, man. You know, it's been crazy, man. I feel like Hiram's been, man, he's just been popping up, man. He's just been popping up every other day in my conversations, obviously, because I'm doing a lot of other stuff around this election. But, you know, I just can't speak enough to folks about, you know, and it really kind of goes back to, you know, how I was telling Mom yesterday, man, you know, in the 90s. In fact, I could go way back to the 80s, but what I was talking about, and I know I tell too long a story, so let me get to it, right? But what is that, you know, we just had that welcoming household, man, and Hiram had so much courage, right? And, you know, and I go online every now and then, and you see these people having coming out parties, and, you know, they're having balloons. Hiram fought his way to school and fought his way back. In the 1980s, you know, 83, 84, if you was gay in 1984, man, it was, you know, like you really had put your life on the line, you know, and so Hiram, you know, he's just a courageous person, man, and I think we all learned a lot from him, to tell the truth.
Right. And let me jump in here. You know, I always got to frame things for the viewers. So our oldest brother Hiram, who passed away now 15 years ago, they said he was gay. Came out in the 80s, and you know, to set the scene properly, the black community didn't accept him. And although Capitol Hill is a different place now and everything else, in the late 80s and early 90s, the white gay community didn't accept him either. The white gay community in Capitol Hill, they wasn't dealing with no black gay people. So if you were black and gay, you found yourself on an island by yourself. And the proof, a testament of that that's still here today, is that's why you have organizations like POCAN, People of Color Against AIDS Network, because even access to resources back then, it wasn't like it is right now. It's a different world kind of in Seattle if you're gay and if you're black. But Hiram, yeah, like you said, a lot of courage way back when. And Seattle was way different. And you're right, man. He had to fight his way to school and fight his way back.
Most definitely. Yeah. Man, I would say one of the things I miss about Hiram was that Indian bread. Come on, guys. You know that Indian fry bread was the
Hiram used to cook, man.
Man, he was a straight up cooker. But the one thing about Hiram, a lot of people didn't know, man, he was that black belt in the Tai Chi. So when you say he had to fight his way to school and back, Hiram didn't take no smack. Now it was the 80s,
yeah,
and, you know.
Took no L's. I took them. Hiram walked out. They were scared of Hiram. We would be in the AC at Garfield High School. Hiram would walk in, and even cats like Anthony Witt, big cats, man. They gave Hiram his respect. But as soon as he walked out the room, they would talk bad about Hiram, and then, I had to get the brunt of that, man. But they really didn't have. Hiram held his own. And that's the truest thing, man. I thank you for pulling this together. Oh, this is good, man. This is good.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think it's important. It's important for people to know. And I guess I'm a public figure now. You always been a public figure. Tune, you kind of been in and out, but being a public figure though, in a more of an evolving one here, it's important people kind of know a story and a background, and a lot of people might not realize that. Yeah, man, my oldest brother, and they said that you guys would know. They said that Hiram, my feet never touched the ground because he used to carry me everywhere.
Carried you everywhere, man. I don't even know how you learned how to walk.
That's something. That's something special in itself, because I'm happy and proud to say, like, yes, my oldest brother Hiram, rest in peace. Yeah, he was gay. So what? You know what I'm saying? And it's like, man, the love is there. He's been gone 15 years, and we still here, and we still honor and honor his presence and his contribution to our community. And man, brother played such an amazing role in my life and all of our lives.
Well, you know what? Oh, and that's a funny thing. I was talking to Mom last night. She came by, and we were talking about when she caught Teray up there in Hiram's room, right? And it was just, that's why I think part of our whole, just the way that we get down, like we had a household where everybody was accepted, and I think, and I don't quite remember the whole story with Teray, but I know that he had been kicked out, didn't have a place to go because, back then, they had the Lambert house or whatever, but if you was kicked out by your family for being gay and you just didn't have no place to go, a lot of people in the scene knew that Hiram had that back door. When we lived on 19th, Hiram had that back door where he would, and cats would come through and they would have a place to spend the night. And if they overslept, their mama kicked in the door. What's going on in here? But she might have been mad, but she didn't kick nobody out. She got this situation, and folks was able to come and stay till they got on their feet and figured out how they was going to move forward. Now that they came out to their family. And had that impact. So, we just bless all of us to have came up in a household like that where, folks was just accepted.
You're right. I never thought about it. Like, when you think about it now, it was like our house, especially when we lived up there on near Capitol Hill on 19th by Meany. it really was like a home for other teens whose parents might not have accepted the lifestyle that they were in, and they knew they could come over and find some solace. Mom be trying to work her resources. Well, we're gonna try to help you figure something out and get this and that and everything. It's like it's easy to make a lot of assumptions about people sometimes, and especially sometimes, me and you were kind of loud and rough and gruff. Tune's always been the smooth one, you know what I'm saying? But
most laid back, man. Most laid back.
Garfield High School, you got voted most laid back. They're at Garfield High School. And also the commitment to keeping Hiram's legacy alive. I know we're going into a second year here, Kun, a scholarship fund in Hiram's name. Did we lose Kun? Is he still there? Oh, we've lost Kun. Man, you gotta get better.
He's cheesing though.
At least you're frozen, smiling on the screen.
He's cheesing.
He's cheesing there.
He's got a cold cheese.
But yeah, what I'm saying, we put a scholarship fund together a while ago for students that are up at Garfield. I mean, now people come out and there's the LGBTQ plus, and I mean there's all these resources that are there and help you to come out and everything else. But like I said, back in the day, a lot of those resources weren't there, and we got a scholarship fund for students there at Garfield.
Yeah, and I know this year what one of the things that Cundy is trying to do is expand it, because all of these programs started in Garfield. I know that he was talking about expanding some of those.
We were talking about the scholarship fund, Con. It was the scholarship fund we set up for Hiram for students, high school students, LGBTQ.
Yeah, in fact, it's the Soul Pride Northwest Scholarship, Hiram Scholarship of Courage. And it's really it just speaks to Hiram's courage of being, he would say, and LaTanya Horace would say that Hiram used to talk about being doubly damned, right? Because of what you talked about when the broadcast, the context that you gave. And so, we've got that scholarship rolling out. Obviously, this year, 100 Black parents was impacted because there was no bubbling brown sugar. But we've got, that scholarship coming out in his name. And we'll continue to do that. And it's for African-American students at Garfield High School that identify as QTPOC. And we want to move that forward and build it up and continue to celebrate folks in the seeing the lifestyle for whatever they choose, because that's what Hiram believed in.
Man, that's what's up. Come, man. You're going to have to get off that prepaid internet, man. Look at you, can't hear you.
You come.
Yeah. You got the hamster on the wheel over there making the internet for you. Hey, before we end this segment here, I saw this actually a few years ago, or maybe it was last year. Is this guy Kevin Rupp, and he was talking about the loss of his daughter, and he had lost his daughter 16 years previously, and he was talking about people always say like, man, well, it's been 16 years. What basically, when are you gonna get over it? And what he said is that grief is forever, and he said grief and love are conjoined. You don't have one without the other. The reason we never heal is because our love never dies. And maybe the reason we never heal is to keep hope alive. And, on that, I would say, man, happy birthday, Hiram Salisbury, gone but not forgotten. You know what I'm saying?
Happy birthday,
here.
H.
Right here. And this is the best present that I think that we could ever be giving Hiram, is all of us coming together on his birthday.
All right.
Indeed. Yep. Happy birthday, Hiram.
Happy birthday, H-Town.
All right. We're going to take a short break. When we come back, Trey Holiday is back with us. We talk about Zapata Murals. All right, Trey,
Oh, there I am. Okay. Hi.
How are you? Welcome back.
I'm well. That was a beautiful segment. Oh, with you and your brothers, paying honor to Hiram, your brother, and what a lovely legacy. And just listening to how he was so loving and then such a space for folks. It reminded me of my Uncle Holiday. So I was over here just beaming.
Yeah, and I mean, when I tell people I love all God's people, believe me. You know what I'm saying? I don't have any hangups, man, on anything, and and open and receptive, for everybody. So, yeah, thanks for giving us that space, Trey.
Oh, beautiful space, man. Absolutely. Anytime, oh.
All right. So, Jake Gravbot, it's Friday, and people look forward to Friday because we always get a masterpiece by Jake Gravbot. Jake made his way up to Beacon Hill and to Zapata Murals. And it's this big warehouse with all these rooms and murals and everything else. Jake is heavy on the art scene and the music scene, so whatever he brings is pretty fantastic. This is Jake Gravbot's segment right here from Zapata Murals.
What's up, everybody? It's Jake here. I'm back with another opportunity to show you some incredible street artistry. This time, the mural is in my city. I didn't have to go anywhere else for it. Here in Seattle, just a couple of blocks to the south, I headed up to Beacon Hill today to catch up with two incredible artists who are doing some really cool stuff in this city. I got Dozer Art and Charms One, who painted the back of the La Esperanza building on Beacon Hill on the corner of 15th Avenue and Bayview. It is one of the coolest pieces that I've seen this entire year, and this interview that I did with them really had a chance to spotlight the story behind it, what it means to the community, and where they're going next. So without any further ado, I just want to show you one of the coolest pieces that you're going to have a chance to see, the massive Zapata mural on Beacon Hill. Let's get into it.
Hi, my name's Charms One. We're out here in Seattle.
My name's Crick Lant. I also go by Dozer Art.
So you guys just wrapped up this mural up here on Beacon Hill. There's actually a good story behind how you were able to procure this wall, the amount of time that it took. Why don't you guys start diving into that a little bit?
Well, the original wall started with the whale and the sunflower wall across the street at an old plumbing warehouse, and the wall was getting tagged a lot, and the local coffee shop, the Station Coffee House, people were kind of bummed about it, and so we figured that it would be a good opportunity, and we got together with the Beacon Business Alliance, and they helped procure funds to help us paint that. And so we came up with an idea, brought it to the owner, and then we painted that. And then after about a little bit after we ended up talking to the owner of La Esperanza, and he saw the response from the mural across the street, and it kind of put things in motion.
Yeah, it took a little bit. It took, like, this guy,
a couple years.
He saw that mural go up, and it was like, oh, people do like it. They respond to it. I'm intrigued, and that got the conversation started. And so we took it from there, and we started going. And it took a couple years. We talked to him. We had an idea. We knew it was going to be centered around Zapata, and because it's really big, important part of their culture. It represents a lot, and it's for the neighborhood. It's also very good. The whole time we've been painting, we've been getting a great response from the community.
Yeah,
you've been working on the actual full wall from the start for how long?
We worked on it from the start of September to pretty much the month of September.
We were thinking about 3 weeks total. Like, that was our estimate. We ended up doing it right about that same time. And it was a pretty big wall. I think we clocked this out at like 110 feet long, and then at some
about
parts
18 feet tall at its highest.
Yeah, so it's
12 at its shortest. So.
And this wall, prior to this being here, was completely empty. Is that correct?
Yeah,
it was just a blank wall. Yeah,
it was a blank wall.
And because La Esperanza has such respect in the community, that blank wall wasn't getting tagged. And at the same time, like, if you're in a community and your wall never gets painted on, there's no incentive
to put anything up,
to put a mural up. But he was more like, he already utilizes some of the artists in the community, so we were part of that community. And so when we had finally had talked to him and come to this conclusion and be able to come make this happen, he was really stoked, you know what I'm saying, to turn that blank wall into something so beautiful. And now it's a landmark, you know?
And it's one of those things too where like sometimes people just need to actually see the visualization of what it could be. And it's such a huge wall too that it's not like you're just envisioning something small.
Oh yeah, and you got to come look. Like you could see a picture of it and you might not get the whole detail. Like you might not see all the little critters. You might not see every flower. You know, you got to really come. You got to walk by it and see the whole.
One thing that I noticed when I was first looking at it was the butterflies. I locked in on the butterflies, and that's something that I think you could probably easily miss. And now I see them all over.
And there's over 30 of them in there.
It creates the movement in the whole piece. It's like, so while you're focused in on Zapata, which is a very powerful statement, you know, and what he represents, and then as you look into the kind of mural aspect that kind of supports him as the lead character, you'll see those butterflies giving this movement. You know, we try to make it look like a picture. So, you know what I'm saying?
And you did. I mean, it's a portrait right there. That's incredible.
I appreciate that.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I know that the community has got to appreciate this. Congratulations. It looks incredible.
Hey, appreciate it. Appreciate it.
Keep it up. I'm excited to see where things go next, but this is going to be a beautiful thing for Beacon Hill.
Yeah, thanks for coming out and interviewing us.
Yeah, we appreciate you guys coming out.
Absolutely.
There it is. Jake Gravbrot, man, keeps it. He definitely keeps it street 100%. And that mural, I see that mural. Yeah, you know that mural, right? It's just up there.
Oh yeah. I mean, yeah, it really is. And what a beautiful centerpiece for Beacon Hill. It really is. Honestly, I'm so happy that Jake was able to really spotlight these artists. Again, I mean, this is stuff that a lot of folks just drive by. They're able to enjoy it, but they have no idea who was behind it. They have no idea the work that it took to get to that mural, you know, for them to be like, man, this is years worth of work. But talking to the guy, he was inspired by that one. It's great to understand a lot of that history with that beautiful piece, man.
All right, big shout out Jake Gravbrot, man. Keep up the good work. We're definitely, appreciate it. And I know you work with a lot of artists and muralists as well. Maybe you and Jake can hook up for an afternoon, and you can take him around to some of the murals that you like. He could talk to some of the artists.
Absolutely. You know what? I'll have to talk to him and see what's in the works, what he has in his docket, because we actually are working on a mural with the demands, and it's on 24th and John. Folks can kind of see it now. So I will. That's a great segue for it. Because I'll work with Jake. I'll hit him up today. We'll make it happen.
Man, there you go. All right. So before we get out of here, we got Chats with Trey today at 2:00. This thing doesn't get old, and we get to dancing when it's Chats with Trey. So let me drop this one more time, and you can tell people what they can expect today at 2:00.
Chats with Trey. Coming up this week on Chats with Trey.
This week on Chats with Trey, we got Isaiah Anderson, a beloved community member and definitely somebody y'all have seen on stage, behind the scenes, and in front of the camera. I'm so excited to have him, Isaiah Anderson.
All right. So what are we expecting today?
You know what? Like I said, he's naturally funny. So I'll just say that you can expect it. Just the way he tells his story, is great to hear. And also, I think so many people, for me in community, have experienced Isaiah Anderson in a wide variety of ways. So to get him to be able to share, his history, how he really got started in theater here and being on stage, doing his acts of comedy, and now what he's up to, his new project with others in community like Michelle Lang is Acts on Stage. And so he'll be also talking about that. You can see it on his beautiful shirt. I told him, I said, look, man, I need one of those shirts, saying in my life. He said, I got you. So I'm going to follow up with him about that shirt and make sure I get it. But yeah, absolutely great to hear what they're up to, bringing, real acts on stage, and they're working on a new production. So you guys will hear about that in the episode.
All right, make sure and get me a 2X shirt.
It's dope, right? The right colors, bro.
Yeah, and now we can't forget Sunday at 7:00 p.m. is Vote Black Love, and this week we have the Turners.
Turners.
Hi, we're the Turners. My name is Vicky Turner.
My name is Marlon Turner. We met on the campus of University of Louisiana Monroe, and was, immediately attracted. Come on.
I'm just kidding.
Black marriage, man, and black love is really important. Seeing this, kind of the building of the black family is definitely something that we need to continue. There was a lot of pressure, man, for this engagement, and a lot of pressure.
But love language. So you can't expect every person to do the same thing or do what you want them to do. All you can do is learn again their love language and express the things that you like, and hopefully you guys can meet somewhere in the middle.
All right, that's Vote Black Love. I watched the debate. I'm ready to just go ahead and vote Black Love in 2020. That's 7 p.m. on Sunday.
Yes, yeah, beautiful love stories. I loved the Yarbrough story. Love how the viewership is growing with Vote Black Love. I think a lot of people want to hear about love stories. I got a couple couples I'll be nominating. You know what I'm saying? Because they do great work in community, and it's great to see. I think a lot of folks get inspired by the love between Black folks, and I just love that we're uplifting it. So yes, the Turners this Sunday, awesome.
Right, and if you have a couple you want to nominate, go ahead and go to our website, whereweconverge.com/vote Black Love, and go ahead and nominate a couple. Trey Holiday, I want to say it's been another amazing week with you by my side right here. I appreciate you. I honor you. I uplift you. I thank you.
Oh, Omari, thank you so much. You know what? This is such a symbiotic relationship. We both have so much mutual respect for the other. And I appreciate you saying that, and right back at you, my friend.
All right. Looks like it's about time to get out of here.
Let's do it.
All right. So again, today at 2:00 chats with Trey. Sunday at 7:00 is Vote Black Love. And until Monday at 11:00. Peace and happy birthday, Hiram.
Happy birthday, Hiram.
Lift every voice and sing till earth in heaven ring, ring with the harmonies of liberty. Let our rejoicing rise as the listening skies. Let it resound loud as the rolling sea. Sing a song full of the faith that the dark past has taught us. Sing a song full of the hope that the present has brought us. Facing the rising sun.